Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. My name is Aaron, and across my living room from me today, sitting on my couch, we had to reschedule him a couple of times. Make some noise for Hew G.
Hey, what up, though, man?
What's up, dude?
Bro, we are finally fucking here.
Finally. I know, we talked about doing this ages ago, and then I had you scheduled, and we were talking before we started recording about why we canceled the first one. I was like, I don't even remember.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I have gray hair now, man.
I don't have a great memory for many things. I feel like I'm an expert of meeting people at shows, and then they come back 2 weeks later, and I go, oh, what's up, dude?
Hey,
guy. And then my play is always just like, hey, can you make sure I follow you on Instagram?
Oh, that's smooth.
And then I get them, and I'm like, oh, it's good to see you, Drew.
I'll be like, man, I know you from, bro. What's your? Wait. Oh man, I can't remember. And
I don't think I ever forgot who. I don't think I ever forgot who you were,
bro. Never.
You got a signature personality to you. There's nothing generic about you.
Bro, cut from a different cloth.
That's the most weird compliment I think I've ever given someone. It's like, you're not generic.
Come on, bro. We're not the Walmart brand.
Dude, welcome to the thing.
Yeah, man. Dude, it feels good, man. It feels really great. Like, you're my guy. So from the jump, dude. Like, man, I just remember going to Belcourt.
R.I.P. Belcourt Taps.
Rip.
We do that every episode. Someone brings it up, and I always say that.
I gotta say your piece, man. Let the dove fly. Yeah, and back then I had just signed my sync publishing deal, and I would take breaks if I just got overloaded. I was working too much, or I was in my head. I would just go to Belcourt because I met Rose. And so I was like, I'll go, you know what I'm saying? I'll get some music that's not hip hop. And I just remember meeting you there, and I was just like, bro, that's a huge fucking personality. He's a good fucking guy. And I just kept my hat down. And I only a few people knew I made music because I wasn't talking to anybody. Mm-hmm. And then I started playing, and then you've caught me, and I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it, bro. And I booked that round, and it was
buddy.
Insane.
That was Belcourt. Booking rounds at Belcourt sounds like a lifetime ago for me, dude. Because I can't believe it closed a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. Well, our last call show was December 19th, 2021, but it closed a couple of weeks after that, right? Sometime early January.
2022, dude. Holy shit.
What a hub of just debauchery.
Dude, oh my gosh. Oh, what happens at Belcourt stays at Belcourt.
I feel like Vegas. I feel like we should go into the dumpling restaurant now and be like, hi, I'm scheduled to play around tonight.
Oh my gosh. Come with a whole fucking keyboard. I brought my mic.
No, this is an Asian fusion restaurant now, and you're like, what?
So do I play over here?
Yeah, so it's which corner do you want me in? looks there should be a stage next to that fireplace over there.
You're in a corner, and it's right behind the table there's people eating.
The last I saw, they had torn the bar out, and it was just this blank floor. It hurt.
Oh, dude! The greatest slogan that describes Belcourt was written on the wall, and it said, "Come as strangers, leave as friends." That was the realest shit, because it was like a home. Even though it literally was
a house.
It literally was a house. But it felt like home. You know what I'm saying? It was so much family and just love there, and a whole lot of debauchery.
I mean, I don't want to get too far into the debauchery, but I remember one night we had been at the bar with Johnny Mac. Shout out Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac.
One of the also most interesting people I've ever known in my life.
Oh my God, bro. He is... he's not even a unicorn. they need... so he's Johnny Mac. That's the only way you could classify him.
But we were sitting at the bar with Johnny Mac and Rose, the woman who owned Belcourt, and Rose just takes her glass of whiskey and goes, "This is good whiskey, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, it is." I don't even remember what it was. She then pulls out a cigar from her pocket, just snips it right at the bar and puts it into the whiskey and lights it on fire. And just, she's like, "You want a hit of this?" And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, that is
She set a cigar on fire with whiskey. It's like,
my goodness.
that is just a very, wow. That's I feel like that's the tip of the iceberg for stuff that happened there.
The tip of the freaking iceberg there, man.
How much of that Last Call concert do you remember?
I remember the part where I was working the morning shift at Belcourt. When I started working there, I worked the morning shift that day, and I just remember seeing you at 10 in the morning.
Having beer at 10 a.m.
The funny thing is I was mashed mood, bro. Like, I was stoned out of my mind. Mm-hmm. And so, like, seeing you walk in, I completely forgot that Last Call was happening. And so I'm like, damn, this nigga getting a drink early.
Because I went that whole day. I didn't stop that entire day.
At all,
because
man.
That was at 10 a.m. The first round started at 11.
Yeah.
And then what time did you play? Like 2 a.m.?
I played the 1 a.m. round.
Whatever was supposed to be that slot.
Dude. Yeah, it was supposed to be 1 a.m. It was
and
like
then somewhere around midnight or like 11 o'clock, like
dude,
something happened.
Crazy,
and the sound guy we had just got really sick and had to leave. And Alex Amato was his birthday and he wasn't working. And also he had been drinking with us for like 6 hours. And then we're all of a sudden, we need a sound guy right now, and he's like, "Oh no," because he was so dumb.
Yeah, he was lit, man. Lit like a big bro. He was
Yeah, that was a really fun night.
Bro, like, yeah, the energy in Belcourt that night was amazing. It was immaculate. Like, no feeling ever like it.
You only worked there for a little while, right?
For like what, 4 months?
4 months?
About 4 or 5 months.
I think you and I started becoming better friends around that time because I always came to the bar early to set up, and I just sit there and 5 o'clock fireball.
5 o'clock fireball, man. That's what it is, dog. The 5 o'clock starts it. It's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
7:02
and then
o'clock.
It's deuces from Chris. And then we just continue on. Oh, is it? It's 7:15. All right, another one. 7:45. Another one.
That place was the Wild West. Like, that's why I loved it. There were no rules,
bro. Man,
I think the rule was don't burn it down.
Don't burn it down, bro. Yeah, do not burn it down. Like, the coolest thing was during COVID when we had to shut down. They shut down. They complied. But we all were on the fucking patio jamming for hours and just like freestyling.
Yeah, we were like desperate for any kind of social interaction back then.
Exactly.
I was like, I'll sit and talk to my across the street neighbor. Why not? Mm-hmm. And then I did try to make out with her, and she goes, "Oh, no, thank you." Like, put up her hand on my chest. She's like, "Oh, no, thank you." I'm like, "Oh, okay, bye."
Not today, sir.
Nothing like being just wholly alone during those, whatever it was, 2 months. Like, that's why I was so desperate for when Belcourt finally did reopen. We're just like, my friends, people who I can sit and drink beer with.
Yes.
Thank God.
You're still alive.
You're still alive.
You're still
I kind of did
here,
have that feeling the first time I saw people after that, because you're just like, if you don't see them,
town, bro.
It's hard to imagine that they're like still real, right?
Yeah, dude. It was
out of sight, out of mind.
It was so, yeah, dude. It was just weird because I can't stay inside, so I worked. I did not DoorDash, but I did fucking Postmates, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a ghost town, bro. Like, everywhere I went, I was pretty much the only person on the road. Like, that shit was like, it was weird at first, but then I was like, fuck it. My windows was down. I was jamming, and it was cool. But then everything really started opening up, and then I was like, fuck, where am I gonna go? I'm like, where would I go? Where would my peeps be at? I'm like, fuck it, Belcourt.
Belcourt.
And I just went there, and everybody was there. And
Yep.
I was like, yo, we back,
I made so many of my best friends in Nashville that summer of 2020 when we were all just so desperate to do anything.
Bro, man, like that was a crazy time, because then that's when the speakeasy bars started popping up, and we were there, and we were like performing, doing shows and all that, like still turning up.
Yeah, I think
like
that
4,
what's it?
5,
The statute of
6 in the
limitations
morning,
is
bro.
expired. We can talk about that shit.
That's why I won't name the places, but it was just like it was nuts, man.
There
and
were
like,
multiple, but there was one.
That was one, but it went up, and we were like. That was like a really like pivotal time for me too as an artist, because that's when I performed every single night. Mm-hmm. Like there was always music, the band was always playing, and I asked one time, after that one time, and I got up, people started asking me, and so I would start coming back, and people would ask me to play, and I would play, and then they would ask for an encore. I'd be like, give me some time, and then later on, I go back up, and then
doesn't that just make you feel like you're not wasting your time doing stuff when people actually start recognizing it? And you're
dude,
like,
I was just
people are noticing.
Bro, it was just, but like even like bigger than that, it was just like all right, I haven't really been performing because I was dancing,
mm-hmm.
so I was used to dancing. Like I didn't have to mouth the lyrics, but I knew them joints. You know what I'm saying? But now it had to switch over to me spitting into a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it became that and trying to balance what I wanted to do, which was dancing, and I would overdance more. I was gassing. Bro, 30 seconds in, I'm going hard on the lyrics. I'm moving. Bro, I might as well have been motherfucking Usher with the headset on, bro. I was gone, and I'm rapping, so I was like gassing, and I learned through that, like, all right, this is how you got to do it. Whoop, whoop, do whoop, do whoop, and you know what I'm saying? Then we had ourselves
those days
it was crazy.
at that place. All of those taps circuit places were just like,
mm-hmm.
that was our network of our friends, and you're like, it doesn't matter where I go, I'm going to see someone I know tonight.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I do miss about that, but it's also like, it's nice knowing our friends are growing up, and not necessarily like growing up like into adults, but we're growing up into like being like better at what we do as musicians and writers and artists and everything. And you're like, you don't see your friends playing the tiny clubs, you see them playing the medium clubs and then the little bit bigger clubs, and you're like,
and opening for people,
it's happening,
going on tour and stuff.
Yeah,
like, that shit's dope, man. Like it's really inspiring. It's like Belcourt was it's like the Taps family was a like development. It was like
and we still call each other that. Like, we still identify as like, oh, we're the Tap circuit people.
Okay, the Taps.
Yeah, that's where we came from.
Belcourt. I remember you from Alley. I remember you from Cabana. You know what I'm saying? Whatever Taps it was.
Yeah, and then some of our friends were like the Midtown people, like the divisions in the music roast, and I'm like, I don't relate to that. I don't want to go to Doghouse.
Yeah. Oh man, Midtown, dude. Midtown.
You have to have a special kind of attitude to go to Midtown, and a special love for cheap beer and sticky floors.
Come on, that's where you get it for the low, bro. That's the spot, bro. You know what I'm saying? You hit Tin Roof, but you got to go to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to the other side. That's where they got the hip hop, the R&B, the EDM, the pop.
So when did music come into the picture? Because you were dancing before.
Yeah, so like music's always been
here, let's back up even further. Let's talk about dancing. How long did you dance? I don't even know that.
Shit. Well, like it's a long story. I can break this down. So when I was a kid, I always loved Michael Jackson. So I would start dancing, doing little things and singing. I fucking went to a fucking party when I was like 6, and I fucking ate so much junk food and was dancing around. I was sick as fuck the next day, like, and like I always danced. And I started dabbling with music when I was like 9. I saw my dad do something. He used to be a DJ. My dad used to be a fucking DJ, right?
That's cool.
And yeah. And
turntables with the vinyl and everything.
Yeah, he was OG DJ back in Detroit. And he told me about that, and he was mixing. I can't remember what the song is called. It's Mobb Deep and 50 Cent. I can hear it in my head. Doom, 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 It's so dope. And my dad was just like mixing it. So he was like cutting it up in the cool. DAW. It was my first time ever seeing this shit. He's just chopping it. Boom, boom, boom. He's like, it's the infamous mob, MOBB. We can't be touched, nigga. Can't you see? G, you not. And he would like flip it back around. It's the infamous mob.
They do it again.
MOBB. Yeah, like a DJ, like it's a party. You know what I'm saying? He's keeping it going, keeping like the parts that he likes. And
Being
it
a good
was
DJ
super
is
dope.
so cool watching it happen because you kind of don't know what's gonna come next, and part of you's like, I have to stay to find out.
Yeah,
and then that's how they get you to stay and drink at the bar for 6 hours,
bro. Man,
because
DJ
the
is
song
essential.
never ends.
The DJ is essential, man. Like, and now sometimes this is like a little segue, a little rant, soapbox moment. I hate how DJs now. A lot of DJs on Broadway, they're fucking garbage. I will say this, and I will stand on and die in this hill because
Give us the skinny.
Just because they don't care. It's almost like they're there to get a check. Like they cut songs after like 30 seconds, bro. It'd be like mid-verse, boom, and it's like a transition that's not smooth at all. It just goes into a song and it's like build up, build up, build up. Now we're gonna hear a drop, boom, it's gonna fall off. We start to hear a drop, go to some hip hop song or whatever, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And then from that all the way to country, and I'm like, dog, and it makes no sense, and you can't dance to it. People then like people aren't like dancing, they're not. The energy's just off.
They're
and some
just
floors
drunk
they
in
have
the
it
club.
right. Some floors have it right, but like if it's not live, like the cover bands that are down there crushing it. Some of the other floors, most of the other floors are garbage, bro. Mm-hmm. There's only like a couple that I really fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And it's about the music. You know, like that shit's gotta flow. But let me step off my soapbox. And so watching my dad do that, it like really caught me because I could hear what he was doing and it just felt good. And so I started fucking around with that and I was still dancing. And I had a couple friends that danced. He put me on to this guy, Brian Puspos, when we were fucking kids. And like Brian Puspos is like a legend in the dance world. Like he fucking came from this group So Real, America's Best Dance Crew season 2. They got like 2nd place. This nigga fucking took off, bro. YouTube, wooty wooty whoop. He put me on to this guy back then. I watched him rise. I continued dancing. Like we learned every single fucking piece that we could on YouTube. That's cool, man. And like I had like dance grooves, bro. I was learning the Britney Spears choreography, the NSYNC choreography.
That was what I was into.
Shameless. I'm shameless about that shit, bro. I was outside, bro.
I'll still be at a bar and do the bye move.
Dog, I had the fucking You Got Served choreographed pieces down because I had the DVD, bro. I learned, bro, I was learning, dog. I was learning all that stuff. And then I met this guy, John Doe from Soulbotics Crew out in Dallas. And he is a fucking killer. Like, he's a white dude. And he's so smooth and he waves a lot. And it
like butter.
Bro, it was like watching water flow through a person. You know what I mean? Like, that's how crazy it was. I had a lesson with him, connected with him, and we've always stayed in touch still to this day. Like, John Doe, that's my guy.
That's dope.
And I ended up going out to Florida to pursue music, right? I'm like snapshotting through this for the dance. And met this guy, Ben, through being at Ruckus. Motherfucking joined Studio One, ended up going on America's Got Talent. Mm-hmm. You know, we were quarterfinalists. Ended up meeting one of my mentors, Farside. Fucking like, it was just nuts. Like once I met Ben and met Julie Johnson, like my mentor, like love her to death, man. Like I would have never seen like anything from the professional side of dance, and it was just
That's
nuts.
dope.
But it was fun because we ended up placing 10th in the world, first in USA at Hip Hop International, which is a huge competition. I was partying with my idols, bro, whooping ass in beer pong, bro. And like I remember people told me I would never do something like that, and I was like, bro, man, fuck out of here. Like this is dope. Like I'm lit. I'm drunk in Vegas with some of my idols. Like people flew in to see our group like perform, and that was like that was a blessing and like very humbling moment.
What part of Florida?
Orlando.
Gotcha.
Bro, Florida puts out some of the dopest dancers like around the world, man. It's undeniable, dog.
That's cool, man. How long did you live in Florida?
6 years.
6 years. Wow, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, bro.
So you moved to Nashville in 2019?
17.
17. Okay, so that's when I moved here, 2017.
Yeah, bro. Like right after Kendrick Lamar dropped Damn. That's what I always remember. Bryson Tiller finally dropped his second album, and Kendrick Lamar dropped Damn. And I was like, ooh, the car ride back.
So what's your process for writing tracks? Do you have a DJ or DJs you work with?
It's like, it depends. So when I'm by myself, I got to make the beat first. So I'll either go on Splice, find a sample. I'll go through Arcade, find a sample or sound. Go through, if I'm feeling like playing something or doing something weird, I'll just grab Arturia or Contact and just like find like the craziest sound I can and play like some chords.
That's cool.
And just kind of like build from there. And like soon as I hear an idea, no matter where I am in the beat, I'll usually just loop it out and start writing immediately.
And
no matter what it is, I don't know what
fix the loop later.
Yeah, I can fix that shit later. And I'm just like figuring out, all right, this is an idea. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe it's a hook. Maybe it's not. And I'll just like write. And sometimes it might be a verse. Like there's a song I have coming up, and I was like, why do I feel like nobody else trying? Why do I feel like the cold is near the rhyming? Why would I chill when I like a warmer climate? Chopping down rocks, searching for a couple diamonds. And
damn,
that was the first thing. Like I'm literally cutting the sample, and I kept popping up in my head. Why do I feel like nobody else trying? Why do I feel like the cold is near the rhyming? Why would I chill? Da, 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 da. And I'm still doing that, and I'm like, fuck, I need to hurry up. And like,
where your brain is working faster than your body can keep up.
The feeling, I'm getting a download, bro. I'm getting a download from God. You know, I'm like, all right, cool. I caught the vibe. Let's do this shit now. Let's just like flesh this part out. Let's not overthink it. I wrote like 8 bars. Stashed it, kept going on the production, had another idea, and I was like, all right, boom, found that was a second verse, and I was like, all right, cool, well, let's get back to this. Let me focus now that I have this structured out enough production-wise, and just write, and I'll write it that way. Sometimes I can just make the beat real quick, close my eyes, and start freestyling. I'll have an idea, like a melody or a flow, and I'll just like go and boom, and I'll just start saying shit. Whatever the fuck I say, I gotta keep it to that.
Freestyle hip hop is so impressive because some of these country bumpkin songwriters, they pretend to slave over writing 8 lines, and then you go watch a hip hop act and they freestyle for like 4 minutes. And I'm just
dude, yeah, that's like
where are all of these
Western,
words
man.
coming from?
Bro,
it's like I don't think I know as many words just myself as I've seen some of these hip hop guys, like Weston, for example.
Bro,
when he freestyles,
insane,
I'm just like,
bro.
I don't know 8 of the words he just said. It's like I got to get like Urban Dictionary out
bro?
for some of it, and like, what is a thought? Okay, I know now. That makes sense. Good words.
Urban Dictionary is like, did you mean thought? You like wrote out thought. That's funny.
It's like a common misspelling of the.
Yeah, right. But like, yeah, dude, like, it is definitely fun, like creating. I try not to overthink. If I overthink, I stop.
Just let it happen.
I stop, or I'll start something new. And if I'm with my homies like Clover James or Crispy Kyle, Bianco, like they'll take care of the production. Like they'll either have like a sound in mind for me, and I'll just fucking go. I hear it. I just like, usually I'll connect with it real quick, and I take my first idea. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink shit. I just try not to. That's so hard not to.
So hard as an artist too, because
you can always fine tune
Yeah.
it. You can, and that's my thing. You can always fine tune it, but don't overthink it, because like the vibe is there.
If you get 8 bars and you're like, hell yeah, now I can go back and be like, what of this do I like the best? And if there's words or syllables or something. You can go back and fix that later, but you don't want to get lost in the thought when that stream of consciousness is happening.
Yeah, the first draft doesn't have to be the final product.
Right.
And
it shouldn't
I
be
used
ever.
to do that. And I used to do that, and so it would take me 10 fucking hours to write a song, and I'm slaving over every line. Like I get that, but I pay attention to detail. Like, you know what I mean? I like to pay attention to detail, and I like to get my feeling out, because if I hear it for too long, I won't be able to feel it.
You start falling out of the song and into the word, or I'm out the
vibe. I'm out the vibe.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll come right back with the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. Still sitting on my couch is my good buddy, Mr. Hew G. The only man who I know can make a bucket hat look good.
Dude, I love bucket hats, man.
You have quite a few bucket hats. That's been part of your look for a while.
Shade, boom. This is like the lampshade look when you got the brim down.
Yep.
And then it's like, I'm here.
I have
you
arrived.
Flip up the front.
you peel that thing right back up, and you're like, I'm here. Or if it's down, you're like, please don't talk to me.
Yeah, don't look at me.
Or look at me.
I'm hungover.
I want to get a shirt. We were talking about this before we recorded today. I was like, I want to get a shirt that says "Don't talk to me," and I just wear it to the gym, because I don't always want to talk to people. Like, we socialize for a living, and sometimes it's nice to sit quietly.
Yes,
and
exactly.
If I'm on the treadmill sweating my ass off, the last thing I want to do is have a conversation about it.
Oh man!
Oh, you look like you're getting a good workout there. Like.
Yes. Don't you see me walking in the
Yes,
puddle?
you see me at the gym sweaty on a treadmill. I'm working out. That's like going to somebody at a Kroger and being like, so you're a cashier. You're like, yep. There's no more conversation to it. And like, yeah, I want to get a shirt that says "Don't talk to me," and then on the back it says "Don't touch me," and then on the very bottom it says "But you can look at my butt."
But you can't.
I've got that flat white dude ass.
Look at the peach.
Show off my badonk.
Show off the little.
Well, I know quite a bit of your music, but let's go back to some of the early releases. Did you do many of the releases from Florida?
No.
No,
actually.
They were all Nashville?
When I moved here, I was just working on like growing as understanding songwriting, like understanding like the form of a song, and also trying to produce it. And I knew I didn't know much theory. I had like an idea of it, but I could get like an idea across. So I was just like relentlessly working at that, and I needed to get good at the keys. So I was like playing every day. And my beat started getting better, and I met Clover James.
Mm-hmm.
Through a friend, Sarah. I was working at Hop Dotty at the time, and so was this girl, Sarah, and she's like, yo, you gotta meet this guy, Z. Y'all's energy is perfect. It's like the same. Y'all like, y'all yin yang. Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, I don't even know this man. Right? And so she was just so excited for me to meet him.
That's cool.
And I never met this nigga. Never got ever heard the name before. And I'm like, damn, she's so excited. I'm like, all right, like she's cool. She's a cool person. So like, I'm going to trust your judgment. And I just happened to go to Hop Dotty to get a burger. And Z was there with Sarah.
Clover James.
Motherfucking Clover.
Z.
I could say it was my lucky day. Right? And so, yeah, I met him that day, and we just like chopped it up because he was like, Sarah kept. You know how Z has that fucking lean. He like leans forward a little bit. And he starts like looking right above his glasses.
It's like he's looking over his dad glasses.
Like your grandpa, like looking at you. Like, he was like, hey, Sarah's been telling me a lot about you, man. And I was like, bro, the same. He was like, oh man. And so like, it was so funny. Like we immediately hit it off, and we set a date for me to come through. Came through, I played him what I was working on, and he was like, I like it. And then he goes, but your beats ain't it. He's like, I got you. And I was like, oh shit, man. Because I've been like, I put it out there that I was going to have a mentor and I was going to have a producer, someone that like helped me build my sound and all that. And Z was like, I got you. Let's meet every. He's like, I'm free Mondays or whatever, and I was like, I'm free Mondays. So we would meet every single Monday. Cool. And we would cook up every single Monday, and we did this shit for a while. And the first song that we did, he sent me a beat that day, and the first song that we did was Lemonade. Mm-hmm. I woke up and the beat was just in my head. It was like infectious. It was so infectious. It was just in my head. And like, so I was playing it as I was getting ready for the shower, threw it on my phone. And as I was in the shower, I just started rapping that first verse. It started hitting me. So I was like, fuck, I got to remember this shit. So I'm like multitasking. I'm butt ass naked in the shower. And I'm just like, all right, just try to remember. And I get out and I'm like, drive the fuck up. And the
You're like, I got to get to a place where I can write this down.
This is the crazy thing. This is the funny part. So like, I'm writing a song in my head in the shower, right? I get out. The first thing I dry are my hands. So I could write everything down on my phone. I was so nervous about forgetting it. And so, you know what I mean? Like, got ready and whatnot. Fucking recorded it before I went to work. The first half of the song. And I was like, all right, cool, I got this. I like this. Send it to Z. Z was like, oh, this shit's dope. And probably like 2 weeks later, went to a fucking party, bro. And some dude was just drunk, and he was talking the most shit about like me rapping. And I was like, bro, you haven't even heard me. Like, He never even heard me, but he just knew that I rapped. And like a couple people had knew that I rapped, and like, I guess they had said something to people, whatever, right? And this nigga's talking. So I'm like, bro, just like, shut up, leave me alone. That's what Lemonade's about. It's about haters. And so I jacked the aux, and I played. I was like, you know what, bro? Boom, and I played this. And then I looked at his face, and it completely changed. And that's why I rapped that second verse like that.
That's dope.
My. Sandra with the blonde side. Like,
get to put someone in their place like that makes you feel so good.
Bro, I was like, bro. And he like doubled back and was just like, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean that. I was like, nigga, you.
It's like, don't talk shit about shit you don't know about.
Weak, bro. I was like, you was just rap. Like, you was just talking shit. I was like, I was freestyling better than you. And I didn't even come after him. And I didn't like that. So I fucking wrote about it.
That's dope.
That's Lemonade, bro.
I love that.
And then this boy Dwayne, who's a super dope and creative like artist, he did the artwork.
So how do you go about finding producers you want to work with? You just hear their shit and say, I want to work with you about that?
Well, it's just like, it's been all blessings, man. Z wanted to work with me. Mm-hmm. He was telling me about this guy Kyle. I got a second job while I was working at Hot Dottie at a hotel. I ended up meeting my guy Kyle, and there's a lady who was over both of us, and she was like, y'all need to work. And she kept telling me, y'all need to work. And I'm like, all right. And then we started working. Like, he called me because he needed a verse. So I delivered the verse, and he was like, yo, while we were in the studio, he like hit the talk back. He's like, yo, I want to do an album for you. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah. What? I was like, damn, man, thanks, bro. And so we started linking up. And through that, I arranged a meeting of Z and Kyle and myself, and we had a session. Our first session created I Do It Big. Mm-hmm. And I Do It Big, Kyle was with The Bus at the time. And so he turned it into them. and the songs that Kyle and I were already doing were turned in, like Don't Change Me.
Right.
That was the second song that Kyle and I ever did.
Dude, that's cool.
And so that happened, and then I Do It Big ended up getting a placement on Hawaii 5-0.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so we were like, oh shit, cool. We gotta like this is dope. Like I never thought my song would like be on some TV show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never thought that shit, bro. And like it happened. I was like, oh shit. And we like got our little single song deal, and we, had our split, got paid, and then they came with contracts, like publishing deals. So and through that publishing deal, I met my boy Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I met Austin was through a ride scheduled by the bus. So we met up that way, and we stayed in contact. And in a camp, we had I Got It. That song came through a brief that was given by the bus. And you know what the brief was? A Hew G vibe.
I love that.
And so I was like, okay, so they want something like bouncy, melodic, and it feels good. And I was like, all right. And Austin pulls up this sample, and it was a sample that I downloaded myself because I was like, I really like this. And he made the most fire fucking beat. And then, that song ended up getting placed on All American.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like it's been cool. I met a few producers through my publishing deal, and just being out through other artists. My boy Joey I met through Songhouse, going to Songhouse. Man, that's Tyler Ward. He's a dope producer there. Sam Keiko's dope. Freaking Gabriel's dope. It's just like there's there's like so many arms of this like creature, arms and legs of this creature at Songhouse, and it's like, and it's out of love. So like I always love reaching out to those people. Like that's my family, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I stay with them a lot, and Kyle and them. But I'm rambling. It was like all disjointed.
So what's it like going from working with beats and samples and stuff and a producer to actually having the band doing it live?
Oh man, it
because you play with a whole ass real live band,
G's,
man.
You and the G's, man. Shout out to my boy Matt Gay, MAG. We have the same initials. That's my guy. And because he was like, you need to get a band together. Monty, he being Monty, my boy Monty was like, yo, you need to get a band together. And I was like, eh. And then Matt was right next to me. And he goes, bro, I could put your band together. I was like,
hell yeah.
Nigga, what? And he's like, bro, I got you. And he just like sent out texts. He literally sent out texts and had a whole fucking band, bro. Like Truman, Nate, it was insane. And then Jermaine, the walking sax player, like you might get lucky when you see him. He's a unicorn.
What
bro.
all instrumentation are you using? Because I know it's changed a little bit, but what do you typically always have?
Every single time, like that I have like a really big show, I'll have keys, guitar, bass, drum, sax.
Yeah. It's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. And it
does make it more sexy sounding.
Bro, it hits, bro. The sax works with anything.
You get that smooth R&B love.
Man, I love the sax, bro. Yeah, but Jermaine, just met him being at Alley Taps. Wow. You know? But yeah, as far as like the producers, that's how I met like Kyle and everybody and everyone in my band. Like, and I move within my circle. I don't extend out too much, but I will. There's no there's no fear, no like.
I feel like the collaboration thing is popular in only two genres. It's country and hip hop, because you don't see like rock bands like, let's go do a song together. But in some of these like more pop genres, they really do love to get 3, 4, 5 names on something.
Bro,
and I don't see why more bands wouldn't want to do that.
Yes, dude. Collaboration makes the best music. Like Quincy Jones and Michael. It wasn't just two people who made that song. You know what I mean? Like Quincy had to get the players. He arranged it out, but he got all the players. You know what I'm saying? They sat with the writers and they made the record. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
do you start with a beat, or do you usually start with lyrics, or does which comes first, or is it always the same or always different?
Sometimes I could just be walking around or doing something, and the idea will hit me. I get a little download. You know what I'm saying? And I'll do a voice memo, whether it's drums or a melody or lyrics. I'll catch it, and sometimes I go through my voice memos, and I'll take that idea, build it out, and then build from there. You know what I mean? So
that's one of the things that I think is fun about learning different friends' songwriting styles, because in Nashville, of all places, like, it's so different between everybody, because some people don't like to co-write. Like, I have, but I don't love it, because I like to work at my own pace, and sometimes that's really slow and sometimes it's really fast, and it's hard working with someone who's like, oh no, I only do this. And then I'm like, well, I don't like this now. But sometimes you do get those better songs by working with different kinds of people. So I try not to fight it.
Yeah, man, I love collaboration.
Do you like co-writing?
Yeah, I like the idea of just creating, and creating with your friends is super dope, you know? So I don't ever shy away from that. I never shy away from it. And as a rapper, like, I pride myself on being able to rap my bars. Like, I can fucking rap, you know what I mean? But I know what also makes the best song, so I'm not scared to schedule a session with Kyle and get Spencer Kane, or, you know what I mean, or like sit down with Joey and TJ, and, you know what I'm saying, and freestyle some shit together, because like cool. they're you know, like, I don't shy away from that, because it's just making music at the end of the day, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be for you anyways. It doesn't have to be that. Like, music is music. People express themselves. People tell stories. You know what I mean? People talk about certain things, but like at the end of the day, like through that, it's already a wide range. So it's just creating. Like you can just create whatever, but it's also like comes with the territory of being conscious of what you're making at the same time. But you know, like creating is just creating. So I love collaborating. Like it's mad fun. I like to be by myself already. So I create a lot by myself. So I love any time that I can cook up with other people. It's mad fun. Hell yeah. So you create music. Do you choreograph your own shows as well? Yeah, if I do anything choreographed, I came up with it. Do you freestyle dance a lot too? Yeah, I freestyle 99.999. Yeah, I'm sure there are some moves that you can always fall back on. There are moments that I have created, like in Lemonade. I know there's 4 hits in the song, and I have this like puzzle that I do where I like jump and like trace my leg with my arm to the drum. Right. It's like bop 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 bop, and it looks really cool. And that's something I created one day while I was mad stoned, and I was like, damn, that. You practice your dance very often just to let it out? I'm just always dancing. Always dancing. Yeah, I'm just always dancing. So we do actually have a third off mic person. We've got my baby. We've got Hew's girl in the room, but you're just laughing along with us watching this. Say hi, Jackie. Hello. She is the voice of Miss Piggy's Round, who we did the show at Nash House not too long ago, baby shower show. But we've talked about Piggy on the show before. She really wants to be on the show. We have definitely talked about Miss Piggy's Alley on the show before. So welcome, the third off mic guest. Yeah. So with the music and the dancing, it's a little bit more interactive to watch, honestly, because so many bands look bored on stage.
But when you're on stage, man, you're having almost a better time than anybody else in the room. And that's why I love watching you play, is because everyone will be dancing along. But I mean, yeah, you're entertaining, but part of you is just like, I'm alone up here in myself, and this is just happening, and they love it for some reason. Yeah, I love that.
You did kind of pretty much like sum it up to that, because like when I am on stage, like I want to give like all of me to put on the best show, and the band is tight. Like that's my fam, man. That's a squad. Like we've only rehearsed a total of like 5 times at this point,
right?
And we've had 2 shows. So the first show, how many years have y'all been together? I'm like, God. That's crazy. Like years. We've known each other for weeks, and like we just hit it off like so smooth, and
Hell
like
yeah.
It's been so genuine and like so fun, and that creates the best product in my eyes. And like I didn't even like have to like strive or like try anything like that. It was just organic, and I'm very grateful for that. It's fucking lit, dude. It's dope. And the band's dope.
So there's one thing I definitely wanted to talk about, because I've also talked about you on the podcast before, but you were part of one of our very first ever sold out tour stop shows. I think you were the second one. It was a couple weeks after the first one.
Yep.
And
the very first tour stop that you had there.
That was I have the poster framed in my house. I showed you that minutes ago. But yeah, it's special thinking about stuff like that, because nobody gives hip hop in Nashville as much credit as it deserves.
Yeah, not
and I loved getting to even give a small platform to it. But when we had 177 tickets that night, and that venue seated 150, and it was just crazy.
That shit was fun.
That's still to this date is one of my favorite tour stop shows ever.
Dude, definitely.
I didn't know where my spilled beer and my sweaty chest started and stopped.
The AC broke.
The AC broke. They were texting everybody, please bring a box fan.
Door open. Wear tank tops and shorts, guys.
It's like it was the hottest day of the year.
My gosh, dog. Sweating before I got on stage.
177 people jammed in like sardines. Oh. So that was your first sold out show ever?
Ever, man. That was a blessing, dude.
That's one of those things you never forget. You'll always remember it.
My first show at the basement. First show at the basement. First show at the basement with the band. So it was like
that was the debut of the G's.
That was like the big debut of the G's, really. Yeah. We did a test run. We did a test run at Alley Taps, man. Shout out to Monty. He's like, yo, I got you, bro. Put me up.
Yeah, you got to play another big festival in Nashville. You got to play the East Nashville Tomato Fest, right?
Yeah, dude, man,
you've done that twice now, right? You've done it twice.
Dude. So because of the Nashville Tour Stop basement
really?
show that was sold out, and like the band killed it. Like I had a blast.
That's
like everyone
dope.
loved it, and so Gil hit me up and was like, yo, you want to do Tomato Fest? I was like, she.
He's such a good dude.
She, no, did that dude.
Speaking of Gil, he actually just had a show at the basement. His first solo show in like 5 years or something.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could have gone, bro.
It was so cool getting to be in a room who everyone's there is just there to love on their bud. Mm-hmm. And that's one reason Nashville's so cool is if you take a break from music, it's fine. It's good to remember that, but also they're like, when you come back, your friends will still care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to not push myself too hard these days with work. I'm like, it'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I need to take a weekend or a month to just recoup, do that shit.
Yeah,
mental health is getting, fortunately, so much more talked about and normal now.
Dude, yes,
that's one of the nice things about growing up and being like an adult in the age we are now is like, my parents probably had these kinds of issues, but back in the 80s, you just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, 80s, 90s.
Now we can talk about it.
You don't talk about that shit, bro.
I love how openly our friends say I'm going to therapy.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Like, yeah.
Facts, I am.
I have, and that's the whole thing. It's like, so back then it used to be like, oh, don't tell people. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm unwell. It's like, yeah, well, right now pretty much everyone's unwell.
Yeah, dude, man, look, I had some shit happen when I was like really, really young that like came up while I was like working so hard when I first got here. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, 7 days a week, bro. I am like, anytime I had off of work, because I would like, I gotta get it, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't come to Nashville to bullshit. Like, you know, had my Xbox and I played it, but I like, anytime I fucking made music. And when I went through my shit, I could not, I had a death happen in the family and I could not fucking handle it. Mm-hmm. What I did was I worked.
You work because it's a good distraction,
bro. Heaven or hell, you work. I just worked. I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, and then had another close death and then another one, and I fucking lost my shit, bro. Mm-hmm. I couldn't focus anymore. I couldn't like do anything, and like therapy is helping me get past like everything that I've done to cope through, you know, like through life and whatnot. And I'm just like talking about it, and it's a safe space. And like anything that I am going through that I'm not comfortable talking about, I got somebody to talk to like that. And like, that's like gonna, you know, like that's gonna that gets paid to like help me get to the root of it, mm-hmm. of what's going on. And like, I care about myself enough to know how powerful the brain is, because mm-hmm. like, everything that we see on TV is a range of thoughts.
You're good.
Everything that we see on TV is a range of thoughts. Like, mm-hmm.
Here's the worst shit happening the closest to you.
And you can go all the way to the happiest thing ever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Watching a love story on Lifetime or some shit. You know what I'm saying? and like, all of that exists. All that exists within each person. So like, the fact that like nowadays you're allowed to talk about it is a blessing, because people go through real shit in life. And everyone copes in different ways.
Yeah, we're all different, and we can all kind of come together in the fact that we're different, and that's okay. It's okay.
Message.
So, Hew, what's next for you? You got new music coming?
Yeah, man. I'm working very, very diligently for the first time on a project. Usually I just kind of like let them go. Like, I'll write them and let them go. Write them, let them go. Write them, let them go. This time I'm sitting down with records on a project. Don't know when it's coming out, but
you're back to work.
We're getting there. We're coming around the mountain. We'll be coming around the mountain when we come. We'll be coming around the mountain when we go.
Good thing that's an unlicensed song. I don't want to get another episode of the podcast taken down.
They're like, oh, boom, DMCA.
Yeah. Earlier when we weren't recording, I was telling Hew and his lady friend right here, Miss Piggy's Alu. We've got Jackie, but I was telling Hew and Jackie about how we were recording a podcast with Sean Livingston, and I ended up getting very drunk, and we used a lot of unlicensed music to do the top 20 music videos. That episode, if you listened to it, is unavailable on public areas right now. You can get it on Patreon, but yeah, it got taken down by Spotify.
DMCA.
But you're working on new stuff. No plans for the releases yet, though.
Yeah, no plans for the release until it's done. I don't want to rush it.
Don't rush a creative process.
This project's important to me. Yeah, I make songs, and I got some of those that are coming out. I'm really excited.
Hell yeah. Rushing leads to communism, so don't rush.
Yeah. I ain't rushing nor stalling.
Hey.
Ooh, that's a bar.
Well, give us some plugs. Tell us where folks can find you in real life and on the interwebs.
Yeah, you can cash me outside. But yeah, right now I'm in hermit mode. I'm in the crib, but you can definitely catch me on TikTok and Instagram at HEWG, which is a WGEE. Yeah.
Spelled right out.
Yeah, Hew G.
Because you're about to be huge. Yep. Well, follow Hew G on your places where you get your internet things. Listen to his music on Spotify, Apple Music. Follow him on TikTok. Watch him do some dances.
Yeah, watch me dance.
Yeah. Follow him. See what's going on the internet. More importantly, go find him in a show somewhere.
Yeah,
support
dude.
Live hip hop in Nashville.
I got a show coming up, but I have to wait to announce.
Can't announce it.
Gotta wait to announce. I'm really excited for it. But yeah.
Follow him online so you can find the announcement when it comes out.
Catch it on the gram.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to the podcast this week with Hew G. You can follow us at Nashville Tour Stop on your Instagram, your TikTok, or wherever. I don't really do too much on TikTok anymore, but technically you can follow us there. But more importantly, follow the podcast here. Give us a follow of your flavor, whether it's Spotify or Apple or wherever you get this. Stitcher, I think that's another one. I don't know. But give us a follow. Leave us a 5-star review. Or if you hated it, leave us a bunch of 1-star reviews.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great to show up on one of those things. It's like, oh, we're gonna get a whole bunch of 1-star reviews now. Like, I probably shouldn't say that. Oh well. But thank you for listening. You can more importantly find us on NashvilleTourStop.com and find our full event calendar. Like I've teased a few times, we've got a humongous announcement for Tour Stop coming, but we can't talk about it yet. So, in the meantime, give us a follow, and do remember that all roads lead right back here to the Nashville Tour Stop.